Good morning. Today is an exciting day. I am headed to Italy. I'm headed to Milan for a couple of days, and I still have a little bit of packing to do, but we'll get there. It's only a 2.5-hour flight from here in Lithuania, so I'm not too worried about how much time I need. I thought I would start this video by briefly talking about what you need to know and what you need to do before you get on a flight to Italy. So it's February 2022. The rules have recently changed to make it much easier if you are coming from within the EU. And I believe that these rules are in place now until at least the end of February. I'm sure that they're going to carry forward for a couple of months now because it is now like an EU-wide rule. So the two things that you need to get on a flight to Italy is your EU COVID certificate. If you have the equivalent, if you're coming from the UK, but you're already in the EU and you have been for the last 14 days, or you're coming from the US, and same thing, you've been in the EU for 14 days, you just need your proof of vaccination. It doesn't have to be the EU COVID pass. It just has to be proof that you have been fully vaccinated, and your vaccine has to have been within the last 9 months. So if the second round of your vaccination was more than 9 months ago, you'll have to have gotten a booster. You can have a COVID test instead. It can't be older than 48 hours, and I believe that's only if you are an EU citizen. So I will link to the Italy COVID website. It's updated every single week. It's the most up-to-date information about flying to Italy, about traveling around Italy. So I will link it below because it was the best resource. It really answered my questions because all these rules are changing so frequently. It's so hard to know like who's keeping up with what. I used to follow the CNN stuff, but they've since sort of like fallen behind a little bit for those people who are based in Europe. So yeah, the passenger locator form is the other thing that you need to fill out before entering Italy. It's very easy. It's pretty much like if you've been traveling around at all in the last couple of years, the same as every other passenger locator form. Where have you been in the last 2 weeks? Where are you staying in Italy? Information about your flight to Italy so that you can be contacted should there be any sort of problems. I'll link that below as well. But again, it's all through the Italy COVID website. Very helpful. Highly recommend. Now let's finish packing. Gotta do a little work before I get to the airport. And I gotta finish my coffee. So let's go.
Hi, I'm Laura. 11 years ago, my boyfriend Luke and I set off for a gap year that accidentally changed our lives. Since we left home in 2010, we have lived in New Zealand, Australia, South Korea, Mexico, and are now living in Lithuania. These videos are a small window into the adventures we seek along the way.
Ready to hit the road.
I left Lithuania on a particularly cold day, but since I was headed to Italy and France, where the weather was going to be significantly warmer, I didn't want to have to pack a ton of winter clothes. That meant a very cold walk to the bus station. Big warm thoughts. Big warm thoughts. I gave myself about an hour and a half at the airport in Vilnius because I already had my boarding pass and I wasn't checking any bags. It was quick to get through security despite being quite a busy day to fly, and I got to my gate with plenty of time to spare. The flight from Vilnius to Milan was completely full, and I ended up in a middle seat. When I checked in on the Ryanair app, I had to upload a copy of my EU COVID certificate, as well as a copy of the Italian passenger locator form, which you can download as a PDF once you fill it out online. That was the only time I was ever asked for anything. No one at the airport in Vilnius or in Milan asked to see any forms at any point on this trip. As soon as I landed in the Milan Bergamo airport, I headed out to the buses where I could catch a bus to Milan.
Welcome to Milano. So beautiful. But how I remember Milan from the last time I was here. I just picked up the keys to my apartment. I'm on my way there to go drop my bag off and then get some food. But I thought I would quickly brief you on getting from the airport to the city. If you're flying with Ryanair, you're likely going to land in the Bergamo airport, which is about 25 miles away. There are buses every like 20 minutes or so. Cost 10 euros, which felt steep. But it took us
straight to the main like central station. From there, that's exactly where I needed to get to pick up my my apartment keys, and oh, it feels good to walk. I've been sitting all day. After checking into my Plum Guide apartment, which I'll be showing you fully in another video, I dropped my bags and headed straight out to eat. It was already after 9 p.m, so I was feeling pretty hungry and eager to try some local Italian eats. I had risotto milanese, which is risotto with saffron, and it was creamy and so rich. Oh, the perfect way to start my trip. So besides the stuff that you need to know about getting into Italy in terms of flying in, there are two other things that you'll want to know, and one of them is that in order to ride public transportation, and that is any of the buses, any of the trams, even going from the airport into the city, you have to have one of these masks. They call them the FFP. In the US we call them the KN95 masks. You have to have these. They won't let you get on without them. They sell them pretty much everywhere. You can get them, especially at the pharmacy. I got a pack of 10 of these for $7.50. Oof. They cap the price in Italy, so they're not more than 75 cents each, but it's very rare to be able to just buy one. So now I have plenty of them for all the trips to Italy in the coming months. The other thing is that in order to get in pretty much anywhere, especially restaurants, museums and all that sort of stuff, you have to show your COVID pass. So whatever you use to get into the country, whether that's your EU certificate or your NHS pass, anything that you got in your home country, you need to have that on you pretty much at all times in order to get in there. Even when I checked into hotels, I needed it. So that's worth noting. It's just part of traveling at the minute, especially around Italy. So if you have any questions about what I've talked about in this video, please let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed it or found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up. It really supports my channel, and I will see you next time. Bye.